Hello and welcome to Sound and Vision. I again am your host Ian Jane, and once again I am joined by my fabulous, beautiful, brilliant co-host Hope Wade.
Hello.
And today is episode 7, Robert Downey Jr.
Yay! I like him.
Okay. So this is going to be the first of our actor profile.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes. Because I'm sure there's like a million other actors we could talk about, but today we've chosen Mr. Downey Jr. because his career is quite erratic.
Yeah.
And it's seen
extensive.
And it's seen a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
And also in recent years, he's sort of been the most highest paid actor in Hollywood. So obviously someone likes him.
Yeah, he is highest paid now, isn't he?
He was.
Okay.
Sort of 2013 to 2015, 2016, something like that. So in recent years, then he has been. I mean, probably on the strength of playing that one character.
Do we have to mention it?
I think we do. Which is we do. Tony Stark and Iron Man.
Yeah, which is Robert Downey Jr. now.
Yeah,
like you just think of. That's who you think of.
Unfortunately,
Tony Stark, yeah.
Anything that he turns up in now, it's Tony Stark, isn't it?
Yeah, and like interviews and stuff. That's all you see.
Yeah, and
Tony.
if he's ever in a film now, it's like starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Tony Stark.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. He's not like the young Robert that we all fell in love with back in the day.
So should we take it back to the beginning?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, Robert Downey Jr. Was born in 1965. In April of 65, in New York. I believe he's one of 3 children, I think. But
okay.
Like I said, I never do Wikipedia. We just turn up and
I don't
trying to remember stuff.
I don't fact check anything. I just go off of memory.
Yeah.
So.
I've got to say to anyone who's listening, I've worked out how Hope passed her exams. About 5 minutes prior to the show, she does a quick read.
only on certain parts that I need to brush up on.
Okay.
But I forgot about one part, but I'm gonna fill you in on it later,
cool.
anyways.
Okay.
I don't know what year it was, but it happened.
Okay. So first of all, we should mention his father. He was a director of independent cinema during the late 60s, early 70s. Robert Downey Sr. Who did a handful of movies, including Academy, I believe, Pain, Greaser's Palace, lots of sort of anarchic kind of satire movies that were made for the underground, sort of rather than any mainstream type stuff. But was already in the film business when his son came along. Downey's mother being an actress who also appeared in many of his father's movies. And I've read some stories just before we go into his film career that, whether true it is or not, I think Robert Downey Jr. said it, so I guess it must be. But that he's kind of said that he had a funny relationship with his father, and that his father let him smoke drugs when he was 5 with him. And to Robert, that was absolutely normal, which is kind of disturbing. But it also kind of explains a lot of his later problems. And I have to mention, he's not just to be, mean, but it kind of mirrors a lot of what's going on, what does happen to him later in his career.
Yeah.
Via problems with drugs and stuff,
and
because it hindered his career. But I mean, fair play to him, he's overcome all this, and you have to admire that.
Well, that's what I was going to mention. Didn't he wake up on a stranger's couch at some point because he was on drugs? He went into some person's wrong house.
I don't know, but it makes a great story.
Yeah, he didn't even know who it was, and they found him, Robert Downey Jr. I don't know if I would call the police though if I found Robert Downey Jr. on my couch, because I'd
love to know what part of his career that came from. Is it like no little kid sort of went to his dad's bedroom and said, "Oh, Iron Man's on the couch"?
I can't. No, it was like probably late 90s.
Do you think that
mid 90s or late 90s?
There's no chance of anyone ever.
See, that's the one I forgot to fact check because I can't remember what year it was, but I do remember hearing the story.
Okay, so there's absolutely no chance that someone rang the police saying Tony Stark's in the house.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I think he looked all crazed out. It was like probably one of the times that he was like the third time he was busted for drugs. What was it, heroin or
a bit of everything. Crack.
Crack. That's what it was. He was crackhead. But I still love him.
We're not glorifying drugs or anything. Okay, so
no,
there's plenty of these kind of stories to come, I'm sure. But it starts off his career in the early 80s. I think his film debuts in John Sayles' Baby It's You, but I love the film Baby It's You, but I've watched it like 3 times. I still don't see Robert Downey Jr. in it. Apparently, he's in there somewhere. First sort of noticeable, Robert Downey Jr. parts in these minor 80s films would be Firstborn, which I'm a fan of, Tough Turf, which we've got to talk about,
of course.
And Weird Science. So that's the first kind of little batch of movies.
Well, that and his little appearance on SNL for a season, which was rated...
What year, though?
85.
Oh, okay.
He did probably right before Weird Science, I'm assuming.
He's such a minor bit part player at this point. Yeah, that would kind of maybe how he ended up on Back to School, because of Rodney Dangerfield. Was he on?
I don't think he was, because in 85, I can't remember, but no, he wouldn't have been, because it was rated the worst season out of like almost all of them, and Anthony Michael Hall was on it with them. So I can't remember the other cast members, but those two were on there together, and it was rated like the worst season of SNL.
Okay,
so
I also remember reading something where Steven Seagal did a show, or not, wouldn't have done a season, but he did a show, and some parties said it's the worst show ever broadcast.
Well, he would probably just be stiff, I would think. Like, just sitting there, I'm Steven Seagal. Like, I can't see him
that kind of stiff. Yeah. Right. I thought you meant that Kelly LeBrock might have been there. Okay.
Well, it could have been.
Well, Weird Science got mentioned, so that's where my mind went.
Any young chart for him would be... you would be fine
if you believe all the gossip, yeah. The movies that we've picked then, taking Robert Downey Jr. in sort of the mid-80s, need to be mentioned, because me and you discussed this a while back, and I kind of laughed and said, when he started his career, he was the goofy...
he was the token friend.
Yeah, in his films, there was no... because he's considered a Hollywood heartthrob, and I know he has a lot of female admirers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But early in his career, he's the wide-eyed, silly-haired, gap-toothed...
I thought he was so adorable. I loved him. I thought he was cute.
It's kind of as a puppy, a puppy quality about him. Big puppy dog eyes.
Oh yeah.
But he
didn't have the lead role. He didn't have any lead roles, and he was just kind of
the friend,
the token friend.
Yeah, but the quirky friend.
Always the weird, the comedic kind of. How would you say? He's very handsy, like very facial expressions. Yeah,
and he kind of maintained the humor in him right the way through his career, and I think he got better at it in later parts. So it was always the Robert Downey, as we kind of know, is already in there. Yeah. But eventually, as you said, it gravitated towards leading roles. Tough Turf, though, we got to mention, just sheerly because it features probably the most horrendous scene I've ever seen in a movie, and we've only watched this recently, or certainly I did. Anyway, hope as past knowledge of this, I've only recently watched it for the first time very recently, which inspired this actual show we're doing there. And there is a scene where James Spader plays a piano at a posh golf club or somewhere, and he mimes this song, and it is excruciating.
It's hard to watch, but you can't stop. You cannot look away, because it's just James.
It's James Spader playing
in a sweater too, wasn't he all like posh looking? His family was like in the yacht club.
So cast against type.
And of course, Robert was like the goofy
friend.
Again, he was the token friend. Kim Richards, who's Beverly Hills Housewives.
And the little girl from Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. She's actually, if I'm being really honest, probably the best thing in the movie in terms of acting. Everyone else is pretty lame, but it's so much fun. Yeah. It has to be said.
Oh, it's a great movie. And it was before those two did Less Than Zero.
Yeah, which we're going to pick on with
that. Years.
Yeah, they kind of seem like friends.
Worked together.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah, there was that whole group of people worked together, because even he hooked up with Anthony Michael Hall again.
Yeah, and
for Johnny Be Good.
Also mentioning Firstborn, the film with Terry Garr, which again I said is my favourite of that first 30 batch, even though Robert Downey Jr. just plays like the token friend of the lead actor who plays the son, who is one of your favourites from Sleepaway Camp. I forget his name, Christopher. I forget the kid's name, which is terrible of me. Christopher Collette
from
Sleepaway Camp.
From Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Who's that in Sleepaway Camp? In the original?
Yeah, the main boy.
Ricky.
Yeah, what's his real name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Well, yeah, Christopher Collette, I think it is, and he has the lead in Firstborn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. plays a friend of his.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah Jessica Parker also is a friend in that, which is...
How they hooked up.
Yeah, that's where I was coming from. Yeah. And
yeah, because they dated for a while.
Yeah, for quite a while, actually.
And he was, but he was also in Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah, which is I was going to mention. Because, because they were seeing each other at the time.
Oh, so he just played, like, I think a party crasher or something.
Yeah, he was on set, and he said, I'll do it for a laugh, so...
Yeah.
So those kind of early mid-80s role kind of gave way to his first truly good part, which you've already mentioned, Less Than Zero. Mm-hmm. Which for me personally is sort of one of the three best Robert Downey Jr. performances. I don't think the film is fantastic by any means. I think it's flawed, but interesting. But I think he's very good in it. Him and James Spader actually are very good in it.
And good cast and
Jamie Gertz. And Andrew McCarthy. Yeah.
Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah, based on a Bret Easton Ellis book. Who kind of chroniclers of 1980s LA.
Yeah.
Also wrote American Psycho and stuff. I've heard recently. How I kind of read somewhere, but I don't think it was said recently, but I only just read it, that Quentin Tarantino was interested.
Oh,
no, bear with me, was interested in remaking this.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Less Than Zero?
Yep.
Oh, Lord, of course he would.
I'm not sure where he's going to fit all his violence in, but...
he'll fit it in there. Yeah. The last 15 minutes, he'll fit into it.
He'll change history again.
That pisses me off just thinking about it. He better not even touch it.
We have to do a show on Quentin Tarantino at some point.
Oh, we will.
Because we have a lot to say on that matter.
Yeah.
Well, at least I do.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Less Than Zero was a kind of breakthrough part then, should we say. It was the kind of first Robert Downey Jr. film that got a lot of attention. And it kind of, showed how good he could be in the right part. And then sort of coming out of that, there's just a lot of those kind of films that fills that gap going into Chaplin then, which is where we get to in a minute, where he did Air America which is the first time I ever seen it with Mel Gibson. But I have to mention Mel Gibson because if it wasn't for Mel Gibson, later on, Robert Downey Jr. wouldn't have a career.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot for him. He stuck his neck out for him a lot before Mel Gibson ran into his own problems. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. could sort of repay the favour now because maybe Mel Gibson needs a hand up. But at one point, I'm sure there was some story of Mel Gibson paying like his insurance or something on a certain movie because they wouldn't let Robert Downey Jr. do the movie, saying he was a liability. So Mel Gibson vouched for him and got him the part.
Was he already into drugs? And all
at this
that
point, completely out of rehab, and nobody wanted Robert Downey Jr. in a movie. But Mel Gibson stuck his neck out for him. So the friendship that formed on Air America back in 1990 then was, even though like you said, the film's not great, but it's kind of pivotal that he met Mel Gibson. It kind of salvaged his career in the years.
Maybe that's why he was so good in Less Than Zero. Because
he's playing himself.
Yeah, he took.
There's a truth to it because he was the rich. Like I said, his father was a filmmaker before, so he came from a fairly well-to-do family. Yeah, so maybe that's why he excelled in the part. He's kind of to some degree playing himself, but again, he is very good in it. It has to be said. So yeah, Air America just before that, and also because I'm just going through a list of his movies just before we quickly came on, just to point out the good roles, which I'll come to right at the end of the show. I kind of want to sum up this whole show by giving what I consider his best three performances, and hopefully Hope will give what she considers his three best performances also. And around this time he did a film 1969, which I know you're a fan of, with Kiefer Sutherland and Winona Ryder.
I love it.
Yeah. Again, him and Kiefer Sutherland were good friends and were roommates in real life for a while, pre the acting and stuff. So they have a little bit of history themselves, and that's probably why the chemistry between them is quite good in that movie. And it's a good unforgotten movie.
I know, not too many people talk about that one. I remember seeing it. I think I rented it at the video store, and I was like, oh, I never seen this with those two actors and Winona Ryder.
Back in the day?
Back in the day when you were able to rent VHS.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, and I liked it.
Yeah. It's kind of obviously 1969, based in that year.
Yeah.
It deals with
60s, drugs,
the whole hippie, Vietnam, moon landings. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
It had it all in there.
It certainly made him more interested in 1969 than Quentin Tarantino's.
Wasn't
Joker.
Wasn't Kiefer Sutherland's role, like, he was supposed to go in the army?
He was.
And Robert didn't want him to, or was Robert supposed to go in there too?
Kiefer Sutherland's got an older brother that's joined the army.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure on Kiefer to do the same, but he's anti-Vietnam, and Robert Downey Jr. is just kind of floundering around doing drugs. Of course, the goofy.
He's still the goof in that movie. Yeah. In the 60s, he was a goof.
He plays Winona Ryder's brother as well.
Oh,
Winona ends up getting with Kiefer Sutherland. It's got a hell of a soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah, I can't remember remember the soundtrack. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it.
Jimi Hendrix and the Zombies. And, all the classic 60s stuff. But it kind of there's a great track by the Animals as well.
It's been a long time since I've watched it, but if you've never seen it, people, you should watch it.
Absolutely. And we talk about these little movies that he did. That Robert did around this kind of time. But do you know what? I'd much rather go back and see Less Than Zero in 1969 than any Avengers movie. Let's put it that way. If you said, we're going to sit down and watch a Robert Downey Jr. movie, I'd much rather go back and watch these little character drama type things he did back then. So yeah, the next kind of stop after this is Chaplin, which for him is the biggest role of his career.
He did really good in that.
In 1992, he's nominated for Best Actor, which is the only time he's ever nominated in his whole... he's nominated years later for Best Supporting Actor for Tropic Thunder, which, he's really all there, but this is the first time he was,
What year was
really
this?
Hold on, 1992 for Chaplin. He lost it to Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman, which is where I hope we'll do around. There it is.
That wasn't I wasn't ready.
No,
that wasn't good.
No. Do you want to go again?
No.
Okay. That one sounded more like Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West. It's more Will Smith.
More Will Smith.
Yeah. So Chaplin, directed by Richard Attenborough. Given, I think, Robert the best role of his career at that point. And obviously, like I said, he got the Oscar nomination, so he was recognised for it. And this was a kind of real turning point for Robert, then forever getting, the lead role in movies and stuff. But interestingly, without going on too much about Chaplin, because there's not, other than the fact that he's really good in it, it's essentially just the story of Charlie Chaplin, so anyone who knows about that will know what the film entails anyway. But the more interesting aspect is that he followed up that movie with lots of supporting roles. He had a chance to finally shine and be the star, but he chose to follow up with supporting roles in really good directors' movies, such as Shortcuts for Robert Altman, which I really like a lot. It's one of my favourite films of the 1990s. And also Natural Born Killers for Oliver Stone. So it's almost like he took smaller parts but in bigger directors' movies. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of other films he did from that kind of period now. But those two are the standout ones for me personally.
Yeah, rewinding back a little bit, when he did The Pickup Artist, that was
87.
And that's, I think, they tried to make him his first...
that was his first lead role. Modern Hope, I totally forgot. We should have mentioned that, yeah.
Well, with Molly Ringwald. And, I think
it's got a great... You say Molly Ringwald, but there is a great cast. Dennis Hopper turns out, Harvey Keitel, Joe Spinell. There's a lot of people in that movie. It's got a great cast.
It was a missed movie for me, though.
Completely.
I just didn't feel it for some reason, even though it had all these good people in it. I just didn't feel that movie. And I don't know, maybe it was just the way it was written, because they're all good actors. In 87, I think he did 3 or 4 movies, didn't he? He did that, Johnny Be Good.
Again, see, I'm missing a lot of things here, but kind of pointing out the key movies. But he did. Again, those kind of friend roles. The
friend, but then The Pickup Artist, I think he was trying to be his
first lead role, and first romantic lead. And I think the only really positive thing I can say about that one now is you do get a chance to kind of see what is to come then. Like I say, he did that the same year as he did Less Than Zero. I think Less Than Zero shows the extent of his talent as an actor, and I think The Pickup Artist showcases that kind of smart-ass persona that eventually becomes Tony Stark, but, is part of the Robert Downey Jr. or persona as an actor, I think. Yeah.
So it's just amazing that he did all of that in this short time period.
Yeah, but just to bring it back up to where we were, he looks at F. Chaplin into these supporting roles, which again, I think he's very good in. And then he kind of loses his way somewhere in the mid-90s. But this, again, as we pointed out much earlier on, the whole drugs issues
kind of took over
massively so as well. Kind of really derailed his career, I think, somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, he did a really good movie in the 90s. I think it was called Home for the Holidays with Holly Hunter and Dylan McDermott.
Okay.
I think. I always get him, and it was probably the other guy. Who's the other guy that he looks like?
Well, there's another actor that shares a similar name. He looks nothing like him, Dermot Mulroney. Is that where you're going? Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, that guy. That guy.
He's cool. Dermot Mulroney's great.
I think it's him that's in it. Or maybe they're both in it. I don't know. I think both of those actors are in it. And I just get them both confused no matter what. They're either one or the other.
Really worrying. You get your Dermots and Dylans.
They kind of look a little bit alike. Just one has more of a shorter, rounder face, maybe.
No. There is one connection between the two, though, and that's Julia Roberts. She
dated both of them?
Well, no, but she was engaged to Dylan McDermott, which is the actor from Hamburger Hill and In the Line of Fire and stuff.
Best Friend's Wedding or something? Okay.
Because that will be Dermot Mulroney.
See?
Which
there
is
you
the
go.
other actor.
I have no idea
Which is the other
what I'm
actor. Indie actor that was was married to Catherine Keener for years, indie darling that she is,
and fell in love with Julia.
No, Julia tried to make a move on him, and he wasn't, and he pushed her away and wasn't interested.
Oh,
so one of the only people,
that's a scandal.
So one of the only people that ever rejected Julia Roberts, because Kiefer Sutherland, we've already mentioned here, Jason Patric, and everyone else was happy to jump.
She's a little slut, that one. And so what, the guy, the other one, the lookalike, dumped her, like, after that, he found out?
Oh, no, it's different times, but I was just connecting the two. The two actors that you get mixed up, I was just connecting them. Maybe that's a whole other show. I think we've done more talking about Julia Roberts' love life than we have about Robert Downey Jr.'s film career.
Not really.
Okay.
That's not true.
So yeah, losing his way via drugs then in the mid-90s before his big...
Waking up on other people's couches. Yep.
Yeah, and there's a story, but I ain't sure now if it's... because it involves Kiefer Sutherland, it might be Robert Downey Jr., but they were like in some fast food place, and they both kind of pulled their trousers down and sat there sort of letting all their Big Macs hang out. And the police came along. I can't remember the whole story, but it was...
It's a sausage fest?
It was definitely Kiefer Sutherland. No, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was definitely Kiefer Sutherland, and he was with a friend, and something inside me says it was Robert Downey Jr.
Was it Kiefer? Like, was he on drugs too?
Oh yeah, they were off their face.
Oh shit.
Reliving 1969.
I know, right?
Yeah, somewhere in the mid-90s, it's completely miscast in a whole load of films I don't particularly care for. He did a supporting role in The Gingerbread Man for Robert Altman, which is one of Altman's worst movies in my opinion. U.S. Marshals, did you ever see that one? Where he's kind of playing the... it's kind of a sequel, follow-up then to The Fugitive, but it concentrates on the Oscar-winning part played by Tommy Lee Jones.
I probably caught it on TV.
This is what I mean, and this is where I start to think that he's squandering his talent there, because it's just like, I'll take whatever parts I can take at this point.
Well, yeah, he's on drugs and not making very good decisions. Children, you should learn and not do that.
But not if you're in McDonald's with your pants down, no. But yeah, also In Dreams. Did you ever see that one with Annette Bening, which is directed by the brilliant Neil Jordan, may I add, who I absolutely love, but it's so miscast in that.
I can't remember.
It's just that classic period where he just, like I say, squandering his talent.
He did do one with Sybil Shepherd too, didn't he?
Yeah, is that not Chances Are?
Chances Are. I didn't mind that one.
Okay.
Was that early 90s?
Yeah, so still
before.
Before the period I'm now talking about.
Or during. Chances Are, and then there was I remember seeing Soap Dish at the theater.
Oh yeah, with Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah,
I remember.
And Sally Field.
So a lot of kind of romantic fluff in the early 90s.
Yeah, which it wasn't really great movies,
but mixed with Natural Born Killers and stuff.
Yeah,
so some grit amongst the fluff. But after
a man of many talents. He can do it all.
Picking really poor roles, but in the mid-90s he was fantastic at. Probably the best skill he ever had. But somewhere around that point, before we kind of pick up the comeback that he had, which I guess starts sort of 2001, he kind of picks himself up. Also, he was diagnosed bipolar around this period. So not that, I'm not saying that excuses a lot of his actions, but it certainly helps make sense of some of the erratic behavior,
sure. I remember reading in the paper that he was just all over the place, and he did there was like mugshot after mugshot from him for a while in the 90s. It was just like, and he just seemed to be looking worse than each one. So
okay, but to bring it back on a positive note,
yeah,
it's 2001, he's out of rehab. Mel Gibson is backing him financially to go into The Singing Detective, which is based on a play by Dennis Potter, whose Hope knows I'm a massive fan of, as he's from the very tail end broadcasting it. The great Forrester Dean playwright Dennis Potter, who's a Singing Detective, world famous, made it into a Hollywood movie. That Mel Gibson, like I said, puts up the money for. I think it's directed by Keith Gordon, if I remember correctly. Keith Gordon will always sort of pop up in these podcasts as well, because he just seems to be involved in so many people's projects and stuff. So a good kind of solid part for him, doing something different away from the fluff. He also does, because he kind of branches it into music around at this point. Why didn't he play Elton John in the music video Do you remember that one? Oh. Which was a big hit for Elton John. After years of Elton John slumming it. It was kind of a comeback for Elton John. And I think Justin Timberlake played him. Basically, that album had like 2 or 3 singles that he got someone to play, basically mime his song. I think Justin Timberlake plays him in a video, if I remember. And Robert Downey Jr. lip syncs him in a video.
Oh, okay.
But again, it was like, oh, Robert Downey Jr., you know, I remember him. So this is all part of his kind of comeback, should we say. Because around this time as well, he does, I think, 2 seasons on Ally McBeal, which is completely alien to me. I remember it being on. I never watched it.
I do remember him being on that show.
So this is your forte.
Yeah, but it's been a long time since I watched that one. They lost me after the fucking baby dance. I don't even like it. It's like the CGI baby dancing bullshit. And I was like, I am never watching that ever again. And I didn't, because it was shit. CGI. Baby dancing. And so I don't remember. I kind of remember him being on there.
But it did well for him, is the point. Yeah. It got him, like,
a lot of people, that went on there. There was Lucy Liu and Portia de Rossi. You know, it kind of sparked their careers a little bit more, I think, because that show was like outrageously famous. And I have no idea why, but it was. It wasn't like one of the best shows. And this coming from a TV connoisseur right here. Yeah. It wasn't like, you know, wasn't up there for me, but
we just work through the subject over to you, because I remember, like I said, I remember it being on. I remember it being very popular here in the UK.
Yeah, he probably dated her on there or something. I don't know. He was probably like I think he was a lawyer, obviously, because the show was about lawyers. So
was it one of David E. Kelly's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Because he was sort of a face of TV for a
while.
Was he the Aaron Spelling in the 90s?
He was the Aaron Spelling of the 90s. Yeah. As I guess, you know, he should be so lucky. So
Aaron Spelling coming soon.
Coming soon. The Master TV.
That was me plugging another show, which is in the pipeline. For all you Aaron Spelling fans. So Ally McBeal, you know, the Elton John gig, Single Detective, then leads him out into a couple of films that I really like. In the mid 2000s now, which is where we are. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang by Shane Black, which I absolutely love. I think it's a great movie, a good buddy movie with Val Kilmer, and a great film for both of those two, because I think at this point in 2005 their careers were kind of really flagging, and this is a great coming together of 2 very popular 80s actors, and some good chemistry there as well. It's a really good movie for anyone who hasn't seen it, by the way.
I don't know if I've watched that one.
It's a really good one. And then that leads to a supporting role in Zodiac, which I absolutely love, by David Fincher. I think possibly my favourite film of that 10 years that it came out. The noughties, was it called? What do we call the decade that came between 2000 and 2009, 2010? The noughties, we call it.
Is that what you call it?
What do you call it?
I don't know. There was a shit period of film.
There's some good films in that period.
What, in between 2000 and 2009?
Yeah.
Really? Tell me. Give me 5.
Zodiac. I just give you one. Anything that Paul Thomas Anderson did, anything Wes Anderson did. I'm a fan. There's a lot of good indie movies made from that period.
Indie movies are different, I guess.
They're still movies.
Yeah.
Good period. And Zodiac, I'd say, is the highlight of my 10-year gap there.
You think?
Yeah, incredible movie.
Okay.
Immaculately researched and written.
It's good.
Very good movie.
I don't know about very good, but it's good.
Name me a better one.
I can't, because I
Right,
don't know about that.
So again, Zodiac's best film of that period.
Let me think about it. I'll come back to you. I will come back to you.
But he plays, Robert Downey plays the alcoholic journalist who lives out on a boat and completely owns all the scenes that he's in, which is saying something, because it's got a fairly strong cast as well, if I remember. David Fincher, though, by the way, probably one of my favourite directors of that whole period as well. Certainly better than a lot of the people they worked with in the 80s. Okay, so again, that finally leads to the first time Marvel is now in the air, and it's like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. has come back. He's pretty cool. Let's stick him in our movie. So we're going to fire out the first of our Iron Man movies.
But before he did that, didn't he do the Sherlock Holmes?
Did he?
Well,
I'm obviously trying to forget that one.
Well, it happened. He happened. Didn't he try to act British or something? Did he try to be
That's
British?
Probably why I'm blanking it out. It was directed by Guy Ritchie. So,
of course.
Yeah, who, of course, is Mr. Mockney, the Danny Dyer of the
and
movie.
Jude Law.
The Danny Dyer of the movie industry.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he did.
Danny Dyer?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah, Guy Ritchie, and it all apples and pears and all that business.
Doing my nut.
Doing me nut, yeah, and all that. And, Just a complete nonsense, especially being a Brit myself. I kind of find it insulting.
I like it.
So yeah, Sherlock Holmes, which makes money. It's Guy Ritchie, for God's sake. Everything he seemed to do made money, which is why Madonna sniffed around him for a while. So yeah, Sherlock Holmes, like you said, plays opposite Jude Law, who I absolutely cannot stand. And again, that is another show I could do, my absolute hatred of Jude Law. But yeah, again, it's a big movie, and that's where we're going with this. So these kind of, it takes the lead in this big popcorny movie made by Guy Ritchie, which, yeah, absolutely takes you sort of... Do you know what? I can't even remember if that was made before Iron Man or not, but they're around the same period, and Robert Downey Jr. is now, for the first time in his life, a megastar. A megastar.
Yeah.
Almost like a renowned and well thought of actor for a long time, but now he was, now he's Hollywood. He's the lead.
So
he's
weird.
Tony Stark. He's Iron Man. It's the first time you get to see that goatee, and unfortunately not the last, because
oh Lord,
10 times he played Tony Stark.
10
times.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's more times than Christopher Lee played Dracula, which is frightening.
Yeah.
10 times, including the little. I'm not sure if he's credited or not, but like the uncredited bits that he's in The Incredible Hulk, with the one with Edward Norton. So like little cameos that the Marvel universe, all the films have to match it, don't they?
Of course, and everything connects now, because you have to go and pay money to see the next one that's coming out. That's why they wait till the very end of the movie. Yeah. And you'll see a little clip
when everyone's creeping at the theater.
Yeah, but no,
in the dark.
Wait. Yeah.
Try not to trip over each other. that embarrassing time when you got to kind of stand up and walk across everybody because there's people still sat there.
I always wait till everybody leaves anyways, because I don't want to be...
Because you want to see the after credits bit.
Not really. I just want to not see people, so I'll wait till everybody else leaves, and then I'll leave.
This is also, I may add, this is why Hope is a massive fan of the dark. She loves the theatre. That's her favourite place to go because it's dark, and you haven't got to communicate with anyone. Which is she loves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not fair.
No. Well, it's kind of true.
Just a tad.
So, yeah, 10 times as Tony Stark in these Iron Man. I've really got a lot to say about the Iron Man movies. What I will say, though, is that the first one, Jeff Bridges turns up in, which is the saving grace for me because I love Jeff Bridges. The second one, we get Mickey Rourke, and that's the only reason I've seen Iron Man 2 is because my hero, Mickey Rourke, is in it. And then Iron Man 3 was directed by Shane Black, who also did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is one of the films that give Robert Downey Jr. the big comeback, then, should we say. And yeah, Tropic Thunder was a film made in this little gap that I have to mention for a second, because again, he did get BAFTA nominated or Best Supporting Actor nominated.
That one was kind of funny.
I'd never seen it, I have to be 100% honest with you. I didn't really care to see it, I have to say.
It was Ben Stiller.
Yeah. That's
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. See, I blank him out in anything. I don't even like Tom Cruise, so I didn't even know that he was in it. When he appears, I just don't pay attention. But it was a good movie. Like, decent. I'm not saying it's the best, but it was watchable.
It killed a bit of time, did it?
It did. Did
you see that one in the theater?
No.
Oh.
I probably saw it on a video or something. DVD. DVD was out by that point.
Okay,
what's funny is I always... What do I say the other day? You got something for the VCR.
Yeah, or VHS.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm like stuck back in 82 or something. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sometimes you do come out with things that I just think, what year are we living in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual physical media year. That's what I'm living in.
Tony Stark, for the last time I will mention Tony Stark. I just love saying it at the moment because he is just Tony Stark. Avengers Endgame, which is the most recent, as you're listening to this today, 2019 is the most recent Avengers movie. And it's safe for me to say now because I think everyone's seen it. Is Tony Stark character dies. So, and he dies a hero, of course, but which means that surely now there is no more Tony Stark.
Well, yeah, right. They're going to bring him back, and everybody comes back, They'll bring him back somehow, but I remember seeing him in an interview, and he said he was just done. He was done doing that character.
Well, if it makes it feel any better, I was done seeing him as that character.
Yeah, he didn't want to do anymore. He's already a billionaire.
He certainly is that, because the wages he's picking up during the couple of years where we highlighted that he was the highest paid actor are absolutely stunning.
He's like, I'm done. I don't have to do any more of this shit. He probably thought it was shit that he was doing it, but he was getting paid doing the shit.
A lot.
Yeah, so after the fifth one, he was probably like, when's it going to end?
Okay. Upcoming projects from next year include Sherlock Holmes 3, so you'll be happy, Hope. He's making a third one of those. He's taking the lead in a Doctor Dolittle remake. This is where Hollywood is now. It's all sequels, remakes.
It's horrible.
I have to add as well, because recently we went to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino's latest movie. And while we were sat there, they played like 4 trailers, and one of them was the new Rambo. One of them was the new Top Gun. It was just like, what? It was all fucking year is this?
Yeah. See, back in I'm not too far behind. They're going to bring back everything's going to be on VHS soon, and then
you're suddenly
VCR.
Yeah, and you're still not going to acknowledge that period of films made between 2000 and 2009, are you?
No, because I'm sure I'll remember something later on, which I will. I'll remember something. Well, you tell me. Yeah. Name off some, and I'll tell you if they're good or not.
I don't think people have tuned in to hear me do that at the moment, but I'll certainly do it once I put the microphone down.
Yeah, I know you will. And then I'll come back and cut it in.
Just to make you say, like, I never said that.
No, to say which one is shit or not.
No, there's some good films.
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now.
You must.
I'm gonna.
So yeah, so obviously the Robert Downey Jr. star keeps rising, and next year is full of many good movies for him. So the career will keep rising. So just to kind of do what I wanted to do, and the less I've really missed, and I'm sure I have missed many a movie out here that is, people are saying, oh, you haven't talked about that, I think we've highlighted what I consider to be the best of the movies that he made.
Yeah.
So to kind of end this kind of show then, really, before we go out on this show, I'm just gonna throw it over to you on what you consider to be Robert Downey Jr.'s best.
Oh no, don't do this to me.
3 performances.
Best 3 performances.
For you personally. But you can't judge it on the movie. Otherwise I'll just go, yeah, Weird Science is great, but he's hardly in it.
He was hardly in that one. And so I would probably say Less Than Zero for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I said, that Home for the Holidays always stuck with me, so I think he did a good job in that. And I think my third would have to be, I love the roles that he did as a token friend.
As the friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it roles like, I loved him in Weird Science because he was a jackass. And, when you poured the whole Slurpee on him. And, I thought, what a douche. But I so think he's cute. So I still liked him.
Do you think that it's the fact that his character's name's Ian as in Baron?
Oh, yeah. Probably. Because I like Ians. Well, I like one Ian.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there something else you need to tell me?
No other Ians need to contact me, please. Because,
okay. Yeah, it's just me. and I can be masculine. As Hope laughs. Also, the fact that up until Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum, I have to mention, he's the only Ian I know in cinema. Really? Yeah, my name's just not out there in Hollywood movies. Not in it's there in British TV, unfortunately. But
what about Ian Ziering?
Oh, that's the actor that rearranged his name so it sounded posher than it was for Beverly Hills 90210. Did you notice that we've again? I think we're up to like episode 7 now, and I'm sure you've mentioned Beverly Hills 90210 at least 5 times.
It doesn't matter. It's the best show ever, and we're going to do a show on it one day. So.
Which I'm sure people are crying out for.
Oh, there's people there's fans.
It's going to be a big hitter.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's big.
Yeah. So you're fine.
That's what she said.
Ian. What was his surname?
Ziering.
Ian Ziering. Okay.
Ian
Ziering.
Ian.
How do you spell it? I-A-I-N.
I-A-N. Ian.
That's right. Yeah, that's the Scottish spelling for Ian. Okay. So, are you happy with your 3 choices?
Yeah. Like anything like Weird Science, Tough Turf. I love those little roles that he did in the beginning because he kind of because he did make those parts. Without the token friend, he would be nobody, right? The movie wouldn't be as great, I don't think. No, it's true.
Okay.
He's goof. So, what is your 3 favorites?
For me, pretty easy for me. Again, I would absolutely second what you said with Less Than Zero. I think it's like I said, I don't think the film's perfect, but I think he's very good in it. And it's also, like I said, the breakthrough role for him. So that, Less Than Zero. I have to say Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Because I really like it. Like it's like one of the comeback roles for him in 2005. The film's very good as well, and it's kind of Robert Downey Jr. playing the persona that we know him as. I'm
gonna have to watch that one.
Yeah, you should. It's good. It's funny. Shane Black, who wrote Lethal Weapon and stuff, and Last Boy Scout, so very much smart-assy, buddy action movies that he does, and I suppose it fits that kind of canon.
Yes, I think I did see. Were they in a car most of the time?
Like about 90% of every Hollywood movie, they're in a car. Yeah.
Yeah, no, weren't they in a car? Like, did somebody get hijacked or something?
Yeah. And then...
Is that another movie I'm thinking of?
It could be any movie, Hope, to be fair. It's a Hollywood movie and there's some characters in a car.
Well, tell me what happens.
They get hijacked. And then for my third choice, even though it is a supporting part, I have to pick Zodiac, because, as already pointed out, without going on, without repeating myself, and it is, I think, one of the great movies of the decade. So, and his part is very important to it.
Yeah,
so.
we get it.
Zodiac,
one of the best
movies
decade.
of the decade.
Yeah.
David Fincher.
I don't think so, but
it's class.
Oh.
No. So yeah, completely.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm gonna watch a bunch of movies through the period of 2000 and 2009, and then I'll come back and tell you what
how wrong
my
I
verdict
was.
is.
How wrong I was.
How wrong you are. Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's the three films I'm gonna sum up.
Stick with? Is that
for sure.
Final answer?
Yeah, I would like to have picked Shortcuts, but it's a great big Robert Altman mosaic piece, like The Player and Nashville and all these other great films. So he's just a fragment of the whole thing, so I can't really pick that. Otherwise, if I was picking on sheer films, then I would have picked Shortcuts. But his part is, even though he's very good in a supporting role, he doesn't sort of push the film forward in a way for me to kind of warrant me picking it. So yeah, Less Than Zero, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Zodiac.
Final answer.
Yeah, log it in. That is my final answer on this subject.
I'll remember that.
Okay, so that pretty much brings us to the end of our first actor profile. I'm pretty sure we just goofed our way right the way through that. Yeah,
and just highlighted his career and his falling outs in his career, which was
he's fallen at McDonald's.
Did he fall out or whip it out?
I think he just lamely fell out.
Lamely fell out. I have to look that up now.
I bet you do.
Yeah. I hope someone took pictures.
Oh God, here we go. You might want to Google movie where characters are in a car that gets hijacked as well, and just see the list of about 900 billion films that comes out of that.
But what period was that? 2005, you said. So I'll just Google it like through 2000, 2009.
Two characters in a car in a movie. That should whittle it down to about 10 million. Okay. So
I could have swore though, like, didn't somebody get hijacked? Were they in a car? Just tell me, were they in a car?
At one point in the movie, they are in a car, as in every movie.
Were they on the run? Was there, like, money involved?
Yeah, here we go. Hope's lost the plot. Okay, so we'll fill you in now on the homework if you want to hear any more of this. I don't even know what it is. Ranting, silliness. Anyway, here it is.
Yeah, and if you want to join us on Facebook for some more ranting, we're at Sound in Vision, and on Instagram, and now you can find us on other outlets like YouTube and Stitcher. So if you don't have Podbean, you can listen to us on there. Okay, that's brilliant. Well, that pretty much sums up this show for Robert Downey Jr. Which you probably already listened to us, though, which makes no sense. So you're listening to us somehow. Yeah, you found us. You found us, but those are other outlets that we have. I'm so glad that we're doing a show on Robert Downey Jr., yet we sound like we've been on the drugs. Seems very appropriate. Okay, so... He'd be proud. He would. He'd be proud. He'd love this. I know. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he will join our group once he's heard this. He'll love this. I think we should try and get him on the group. If anybody knows Robert, just send him our way. Tweet him. See, that's what we need to get on. Who tweets these days? Is everybody tweet? I don't know. I don't know anything about tweeting. Tweet. Tweety bird. Oh, dear God. But I'm going to join just so I can get out there and talk to Robert. Can I also say that I just want to show our audience that no alcohol has been consumed in the making of this episode? No. I hope he's not too stuck up now, though. Because I don't want him to, like, be like, oh, shoo me off like a little fly or a gnat or something. He may. So, bringing this show to an end, Hope is now off to Google movies where two actors get in a car, and I am going to go and watch Christine.
just to do some research. So, for the last time today, this is Ian James saying goodbye.
And this is Hope saying goodbye.
Goodbye.